Hey there, it's Jody Sutter of the Sutter Company, and it's Just Ask Jody. It's that time when I take a question from an agency on an issue they're having with business development, and I'll answer that question in 4 minutes or less. And today the question is, what do we do when our client says, give us your best and final offer without changing the scope of work? Now, if it's a client that simply wants the cheapest price, it doesn't sound like the most attractive client to me. And so you might want to consider cutting your losses and moving on to the next opportunity, as painful as that can be sometimes. But I'm going to assume that you've had a constructive, collaborative conversation with your client up until now. You've worked hard and you've been a good guide through the buyer's journey. You've collaborated on defining the right scope for the right fee, and you're in a pretty good position to win. Now, this means that not only are you invested in this process, but they're invested in this process as well. But this question, just by its very nature, sounds like it probably came from procurement. And of course, their job is to negotiate the best deal for the cheapest price. And I want to emphasize the word negotiate. When procurement sits down across the proverbial table from you, they're expecting you to negotiate as well. And just because you're not capable or not willing or not experienced enough to negotiate isn't really their problem. So the first thing I want you to do is get comfortable negotiating and being willing to ask for concessions. One of the things you can do is you can think about the levers in this machine that are still movable. So if the scope is fixed and the price must be lowered, at least according to procurement, then something else has to be sacrificed. What are the levers that are still movable? Well, it could be that you can replace that senior team with a more junior team. Or it could be that you can ask for a more flexible delivery date. In both of these cases, the client is going to sacrifice something. And you can, obviously, it's your job to make them aware of what they will be sacrificing for that cheaper price to get the same scope. But sometimes there's a legitimate business reason for asking you to reduce the price. And it's your responsibility to probe and find out what that business reason is and to try to offset that with another solution. So maybe you're working with a startup and cash flow is a little bit unpredictable for this startup. If this is an important opportunity for you and you think that the upside is greater than the downside of low initial cash flow, then maybe you're willing to to negotiate a lower upfront fee for a much higher return, either in the form of revenue sharing or a bigger bonus in the end. Again, make sure that you're offsetting things that you are sacrificing with something that you can gain. That's what a negotiation is. It's not unilateral, it's meant to be bilateral. So probe, question, find out what they're willing to sacrifice to make this deal work. And also go into these negotiations knowing what your walkaway position is. At what point does this opportunity cease to be attractive to you? At what point are you going to feel comfortable walking away? That's it for now. If you've got a question that you'd like me to answer on another Just Ask Jody, you can email that to me at jody@thesuttercompany.com.